Alright, imagine that you just returned home from school. It was the last day of school, and you're now waiting. You're waiting for your final grades to come through. You've been doing a bunch of based escape the matrix stuff and self-improvement on the side, and you have no idea how well you actually did in school. As you are waiting around on the couch, you suddenly hear your phone buzz. You quickly open your phone and realize that the final results had just been posted, and you rush to log into the school portal as you start getting more and more nervous. You anxiously open the page, and looking at it, a smile sweeps over your face. You had done it. You had fucking done it. You managed to secure A's in all subjects, and that was the exact moment you knew you became a straight A student. Not only that, but you also had learned a lot in the real world realm. You look back on how you got here and the strategies you used. High ROI activities that gave you lots of value for your time, which resulted in you learning and developing rapidly, and you realize that becoming smart is pretty simple. It's about finding the right approach and sticking to it. I'm Aaron, base rated student on self-improvement, and there are broadly 5 pillars, which if you can get right, becoming smart becomes pretty easy. Firstly, to become smarter, we need to leave our ego out of the equation and understand that there's always more to learn. Bro, don't make the same mistake I did where last summer in 2023, I thought I knew everything in the world. I thought I was at the top of the world, and I was just going into the red pill at that time. Even though we may feel like we know so much that we know so many things that other people don't, there is always going to be more to learn, and we should have like the humility and like a student mindset to understand that you don't know shit. I mean, especially if you're young, even though you may feel like you know a lot, there's still a lot more to learn, and that is like the prerequisite of getting smarter, because it's accepting that you don't know everything in the world so that you can actually get smarter and develop more. It really just puts a barricade on your learning when you don't have the humility / confidence to understand that there's always more and that you could always develop more. Now the second pillar is to learn and understand the learning pyramid, which is actually how we gather information and learn and develop. So here's basically what the learning pyramid looks like. I've got it here right now, and at the top you've got lecture, and there it says 5%, which basically indicates that you retain about 5%, so as to say, of the information that you're presented with in a lecture. I don't know how accurate the numbers are, but the order on which these are placed are definitely correct. So at the top we have lecture, which is the worst form of learning. From the diagram it says you only retain about 5% of the information. Reading is one better than that. Audiovisual is 20%, which is basically when you're hearing and reading at the same time. Demonstration is when people are demonstrating the actual thing that they're teaching to you. So good lecturers and teachers would presumably try and demonstrate instead of just talking by, I don't know, using the whiteboard or using actual chemistry or physics or whatever the subject is stuff. Once above that is discussion, and apparently when you discuss a topic with your friends or other people, you retain 50% of the information. This is really good if, for example, you and your friend have read the same book, and after you go into a room and discuss for like an hour or two, that will really help clear things up. You'll get another perspective. One above that is practice. So this is basically implementing and actually putting into action the stuff that you learn, and not just listening to it or hearing it or just discussing it. It's actually implementing it and seeing like what changes it makes directly, and that really helps like fortify the information as you learn and become smarter. And finally, according to this diagram, you've got the best form of learning, which is simply just teaching others. So this is what I'm doing right now. For example, I'm teaching this learning pyramid to you. That is in a way helping me learn this learning pyramid even more, and you can do this too, and you should. For example, you can teach your friends about something that you've recently learned, or you can make YouTube videos like these, or you can maybe write blog posts. The main point is that you try and just teach someone what you've learned, and that will really help you fortify the knowledge that you built and will help you get smarter. Now the third pillar, and one of the best ways to learn, is by books, and not just any random books. You can see that I've got a bunch of books over there, but it's all the right books that will actually level you up. If you're reading for entertainment, then yeah, sure, you can read fiction books. Like I've got a couple of Harry Potter books there. I haven't read those in about 2 years, but to actually read for value and level up your life, you gotta read the right books that are actually worth your time to read on the different branches of life that you want to level up in. For example, you can level up in your social skills life. So you would, for example, read How to Win Friends and Influence People and Charisma Myth. If you want to level up in the business branch of life, then you would read some Russell Brunson or Napoleon Hill or Alex Hormozy. There are a bunch of really good books out there, and if you just read through them and implement the learning pyramid that it was in the last step, you're gonna get much smarter. I've already made a video where I tier listed my favorite and most valuable self-improvement books that I've read. So if you need some help in your decision, then you can 100% check that out. It's on the channel. But basically, start reading as soon as possible, as that will really level up your knowledge. And this is not only about getting straight A's, like I said, this will help you gain some real world knowledge. Most people stop learning after university. They get their degree and boom, that's it. They don't read another non-fiction book ever, other than maybe Sapiens, but they basically quit all learning and they just get super complacent. So don't make that mistake. The fourth pillar of becoming smart is becoming intelligent. And one of the mentors that I look up to, Alex Ramosi, he's a successful entrepreneur if you haven't heard of him. Being intelligent is basically the rate of learning. In other words, when you're presented with something new, it's how fast you can learn and adjust to the new scenario. For example, here is a super dumbed down explanation. If I hold up my hand like this and then I punch you, that's like one thing. You're not gonna expect it, right? If I hold up my hand up again like this and then I punch you again, you're gonna be like, hang on, there's like some kind of pattern going on here. And when I hold up my hand again, you're gonna realize that, oh shit, he's about to punch me, and then you're gonna block, right? That's your rate of learning. A less intelligent person would take more times for me to put up my hand before they actually learn to fucking put their guard up. Whilst the more intelligent person would get it like the first or second time. I would do this, I punch, and then he immediately learns that the next time I do this, he's about to get punched, so he guards up. That's like a super dumbed down explanation, but essentially it's the same thing. It's basically how fast you spot patterns and connect them to the previous stuff that you know. Finally, the fifth and final pillar of becoming smart and learning is to actually implement and not just mentally masturbate with learning. I see so many people just mindlessly consuming content and coping by saying that this is learning, it's productive, which to an extent 100% it's good for you to learn and stuff. But if you're not gonna actually implement and take action on the stuff that you are learning, then there is no point in learning. Learning and becoming smart is not just about reading books and watching video after video after video. It's also about acting and then seeing what happens and adjusting accordingly. Another thing that has really helped me in my learning and developing journey so far is an app called Notion. If you've never used Notion before, you're missing out. But if you have, then my most used Notion templates, they're the first link in the description. Do check them out, they're really good. And it will just help you manage studies and self-improvement and learning and all that kind of stuff. It's really helpful. And here's what I was talking about, where I tier list all the right self-improvement books that you should read to get smarter. Do follow me on Instagram at Aaron08x. And as always, your potential is only limited by your intention. Take care, bro.